Hello and welcome back to my Stationeers playthrough of the moon of Jupiter, Europa, on Stationeer difficulty. Except today we're going to do things slightly differently. I have altered the difficulty. It is still Stationeer difficulty, but I have significantly reduced hunger and thirst rate, and I want to show you how you can do that yourself. Let's look first at the file that defines the current difficulties. And there are a lot of other files that you could modify and then play the game differently. Or you could create a new save game and then stop playing and alter that save game to give you more other starting gear. You can do that by editing a file. This looks kind of like this, roughly. But let's stick to this first, because else I could be explaining for hours. I just want to do this at the beginning. We will get into the game very soon. And then I can show you the spiced up base. You know, I cleaned up and polished things somewhat, so it's more fun to play in there. Here we can see there's a creative difficulty, easy, normal, and stationeer. And here shut up. And here we can see the hydration rate, and the breathing rate, and the hunger rate. And these two, hunger and hydration, I altered significantly. These are normal. These are the normal values. You're looking at the standard file of the game itself, and that's the file that you should not alter. Even though you could. You could just go here, select this whole block of stuff that obviously belongs together, duplicate it, and change the name. Probably not with stuff like that, because you should consider that it is a machine-readable name, and those are usually pretty strict when it comes to what characters are allowed. This might already be overdoing it, but this should be working. But anyway, let's keep it simple. Or is that the name that is human-readable? I don't actually know, but you know, you might have to experiment. So then I could duplicate it and alter the values, and then when I start the program, the game, then I could then see that as a difficulty that I can choose when I say new game. But that's not what you should do. You should not alter the game files themselves. Instead, you can duplicate them. You can put them in a certain place, and then the game will read them from that place and will kind of overlay these files that it already knows from within. It will overlay them with the other files that you gave. And so if you, for example, copy this file to that place and change the already existing difficulty, then that should indeed alter that difficulty for every... I mean, if you load a save game that is using a difficulty with that name, it will use that new altered difficulty of yours. So let me show you how that's done. First, you locate your Stationeers installation, wherever it might be. Somewhere in the Steam Apps Common folder, there's Stationeers, and within there we have Rocket Station data streaming assets. I mean, you can just look around for a while until you find this stuff, specifically the example mod. And the example mod is indeed a file that they gave you so that it can easily mod the game. That is our foundation that we use for work. Now, you also have to find your save games. And mine are here. My games, Stationeers. And then you have this, but what you don't have is that. You have to create this folder yourself, manually. You have to say, new folder, mods. You know, you have to create that. Mods. And then you go in there, and then you see something in here. What is that? That is something I created. And what I did is I just unpacked this file here, you know, the example mod, and then I changed the mod. This README file tells you what to do, but I mean, really, if you just want to mod the difficulty, this is all you have to do. You just create in your where your saves folder is. Next to it, you create a folder mods. And then in this folder mods, you unpack the entire content of this file. You can, by the way, if you don't do that, if you don't know that, you can drag a file in Windows with the right mouse button, because then you already get a context menu where you drop it, and then you can choose some appropriate actions. For example, I could like unzip it here, and then we have those. And then in here we have this. I will delete those now, because I want to show you those files in my mod. Here, the same folder. So here's just some about data, meaning that is not mod stuff. That is only talking about your mod. For example, there's a preview image that comes from the zip file, there's a thumbnail, and then there's some description. So this is what I said. Play on Stationeers difficulty, but once food and water are secured and the difficulty is now just tediousness, edit one of these names into your world XML. And instead of actually editing your world XML to do that, you can just use a command in the game. I will show you that soon. Okay, so that was just some blah blah, and since that blah blah already exists, you don't actually have to change that really. Except one thing, yeah, you might have to edit the name. Actually, I'm not sure, but you know, just give it your personal note and the rest will follow. What actually matters is here, the game data. And if you go in here, you will find the same kind of files, or you should then put here the same kind of files that you find over here. This is still the installation folder of the game. Where is it? Yeah, Stationeers, Rocket Station Data, Streaming Assets, Data. This folder Data is basically the same folder as this folder Game Data in your mod subtree here. So for example, here we have the folder difficulty set, the file difficulty settings, and if I copy that over here, which I now don't, then they will be in my mod. And then I open this and you can see here that I made two new mods, Stationeer Less Tedium 1 and Stationeer Less Tedium 2, which this one only has its hydration and hunger changed, and this one also has the breathing rate reduced, but I basically never use that. I mean, whatever. So, you know, that's how you do it. That's simple enough, right? This stuff that came with a mod, and I just left it in because I'm still myself trying to learn about all of that, and so yeah, I keep the examples in to experience them so I gather knowledge. But this is really all you need. The other two you can just delete. These are mods. Do you want to mod these aspects? No. Then delete that stuff. Do you want to mod these aspects? Yes. So you put that thing in here. You know, difficulty settings are not in here by default. You have to copy them over from the data to the game data folder. So now that your mod exists, then you have to, I'm pretty sure that you have to restart the game application. Otherwise it will not see the mods, I think, I'm not sure. But it's better to play it safe. Now we can say workshop, and here now we see the mod. Difficulty decrease once tedious. That was in one of these XML files that I have in this little subtree of mine. And then you can change the order and so forth. But oh, interesting. You cannot move that further down because these are disabled. Interesting, I didn't know that. Oh, does this button not work? What the fuck's happening? Oh, I think I just discovered a bug. Or what's happening? Anyway, so this is the core, aka this is the game, and once the game has been loaded and the game knows itself, then it will move on to the next thing here in its list, and if there's a checkbox, it will then load that stuff, and if need be, override some of the things that it knows. It's like a programming language where you say, my variable is called I don't know, Jupiter, and I assign the number 10 to Jupiter here. And then I come over with my mod, and I say, no, Jupiter is 15. And that's what that is. The variable will be overwritten if it already exists. So you need, you see your mod here, you have to activate it, and then you go back, and then you exit to desktop. Why? Because I'm pretty sure that you have to do that, because otherwise the game will not yet have loaded the stuff in this order. So you need one restart for your mod to be visible, and you need another you need another restart for damn it, you need another restart for the changes here to the modding settings to kick in. I think that's not too complicated. Now let's say, I would say new world, select world. Now you see creative, easy, normal, stationeer, and here are the other two that I created. Isn't that nice? And I can also give it different graphics. I didn't do so, but I could, you know. But you don't have to start a new game. So let's get into mine. Actually, wait, let's first grab directly from the game. Which should hypothetically... Ah, yeah, it does. Alright. So, let's load the world. And pause and press F3. You know, F1 is for help. F2 is for... Actually, I don't remember what it was. Oh, F2 is for this. To hide all the you know, the entire head-up display. But you can still use stuff. Oh, you can't? Oh, yes, you can. But you don't even see the hover. Oh, interesting. I mean, the highlight. And F3 is for the console. So, escape F3 so that we have some time here. Now I can type help to see all the commands supported. If sometimes, by the way, if you're stuck, if the game seems to have like frozen, crashed or whatever, then you can go here and you can type exit, which will get you to the main menu. But let's look at difficulty. Then you can see here the output. The ID that is currently being used is Stationeer less tedium 1, because I'm already switched to it. So I could basically say difficulty creative, then I would switch to creative difficulty, and it would say that here in the console. And then when I save my game, that will stick, because that's also how it happened here. You know, I used the command, then I saved my game. Now that we just loaded the game, I still see that in here. What I could have done instead is I could have edited my world XML of the save game. There's right at the top, or very close to the top, the name of the difficulty, and you can edit the same in there. But you know, if it's right here, why not use this approach? This is less error prone. It will even tell you if something's wrong. If you edit that into the file, it will not tell you that there's a typo. It will just, I don't know, not work, or you will have some, I think you will have some fallback automatic difficulty instead of yours. So best use this approach. Okay then. Let me show you around. So, everything is spray painted black. Why black? Because, you know, black, which you also know from clothes, I guess, you know, specifically the very shiny ones, express the play of light and thus form more than other kinds of clothes, and therefore spraying something black will show you the play of light better. And so, a black floor, that's nice. Here I removed the crusher, for we didn't use it, you know. The crusher, we used that to make water, drinking water, but we have this nice setup here, which with the drinking water bottles and a water pipe and a water pipe and the Passive Liquid Inlet, which is part of the kit passive kit drain, the kit drain that you get from the from the simple pipe bender. Hey, is this thing still working? And then you just toss down some water ice. Do I have some? Nope. And it melts, hopefully, and this will take it in. And if you ever have some pollution in those pipes, from whatever source, for example, from crushing or whatever, I mean, it happens sometimes. If you have such passive liquid inlet, then you basically have a direct gas connection from those liquid pipes to the room, and thus to your scrubber. So if I have that problem and this thing here is flashing like, oh, I'm polluted, like you can't make drinking water, then you can just turn this thing on, and then you will be fine. No crusher required. So more space, so I could move the hydroponics out of the way over here. And here there was some spider web of cables which didn't let me through, and it was terrible. Now it's all underground and wired properly and spray painted blue, because why the fuck not? And there's a little, you know, alcove here with some extra locker. And actually that's the things that I did between the videos. You know, spray painting, decorating. But I also did something else, and that was not between videos. That was supposed to be the recording of video 7, but for some reason I had some total rant flash all of a sudden. I was talking for like 3 hours about all kinds of shit, partly political, partly about the atheist and religious debate and whatever, and so I eventually scrapped the video. So thanks to that we now have an advanced furnace. Let's take a look at that then. Temperature 28 degrees. In here it's a bit warmer. Here we also have the obligatory automatic door, which protects from overheating, which I programmed in the usual way. You have seen that in one of the videos of this playthrough. In the same chip, there was like 3 or 4 more lines of the same type we already had, you know. And here is the advanced furnace. What is different in the advanced furnace? Well, the advanced furnace is different. The main difference is that you want it right away if you can, but for that you first need, I think you need the advanced manufacturers to make the advanced furnace. I think so, I'm not entirely sure right now. But let's see. Advanced furnace. The kit is made with electronics printer Tier 2. So you don't need all the manufacturers upgraded, only the electronics printer, which is the manufacturing upgrading foundation anyway. That's how you start all your manufacturing upgrading. So, and you want that, why? Because the normal furnace, if you want to vent it, if you want to empty it, then you slap some kind of pipe cowl on there with maybe some kind of valve, and then you wait and wait and wait and wait, and then you wait some more, then after that you wait. But here you can just turn on a pump which is built into the chamber itself, so it's not waiting for some pipe to tell another pipe that there's something to be piped, but instead it is grabbing its stuff right from the furnace. And so yeah, that's very effective. That's the output pump, but there's also an input pump, and be wary when you put up this thing. Its default settings are kind of stupid because they are already turned up to like is it off? Okay, to 50. So if you have everything wired up, you know, the power and the fuel inlet, and you turn that thing on, then you will be surprised, because the needle here will rise and rise and rise, but it's not dangerous, right? It will only rise to this point, and then you turn it off and no problem. Thing is though, that is not the burning furnace, that's just the fuel gas in there. And if you turn that on, then you will see boop, and then you see that you are dead. So not good defaults. So that's what these do. We can use the usual large and small scale changes, you know. You can see that in the tooltip, which key to use. But you can use the furnace entirely like you did the other furnace. You can toss your ices in here to get it running, and you can push this to set it on fire. This is only for the pumps. That's all. Yep. So this thing's very convenient, you know, to achieve the right pressure and temperature. Just turn the dial and so forth. Very, very good. And I've been using it recently as a radiator. And that's kind of part of today's topics, right? However far we get, because it's rather late already, and tomorrow I have to work again. Damn it. So, we have this nice fire chamber here. With our rather filled fuel supply, 6 megapascals. I put some more stuff in. Oh, it just vented. Emergency venting because the room got too hot. By the way, I did not forget some... Let's see how long this burns. This was the lowest setting, 0.1 liters. Yeah, should fizzle out now. Yeah, what I forgot was I want to have... But no, I don't need a pipe sticking out from the ground, from the pipe that is underground, so that I can use my tablet to measure it, because I have this thing here. I can just see what's going on. I forgot that. Let's turn this on again, see what happens. If you look at the top of the screen, you will probably see the door move at some point, because the chip is protecting us, yeah, from overheating and overpressure. And then the world is set ablaze. Now, the planet, very, very cold, or rather moon, it's a moon of Jupiter, and Jupiter is nowhere to be found. I don't know why. They fixed something about the skybox, and if I start a new Europa game, there will be Jupiter in the sky, that even if I fast forward ridiculously, it will stay there. But if I fast forward here ridiculously, you will not see Jupiter, so it's kind of gone. But I think we will cope. So we have a source of cold and a source of heat, and we need to keep the room temperature in balance, because it's currently a bit high. And there are multiple ways to achieve that. The classic way that I always use on the moon, for example, was I pipe my room atmosphere through through pipes on the outside with a radiator. I mean, the pipes themselves will already do it because they have convection cooling or heating. I mean, convection thermal energy exchange and radiation thermal energy exchange. And when you look at the pipe, I mean, let's just do that. Let's look at the pipe. Is there something in there? Yes, you can see here, convected and radiated. A positive number means that the thermal energy that is therein will have been removed from it somewhat into the surrounding environment by radiation or by convection. On the moon, you will of course not see convection because there's nothing to convect. It's like when you exit your spaceship in space and you don't suddenly freeze like Hollywood keeps showing you for some retarded fucking reason, because they are not responsible for forming the public mind at all, right? Fucking idiots. But there will be no convection, and so, but you know, if you have a pipe out there without radiators, it will still achieve some effect. But pipe radiators do a lot of damage when it comes to exchanging thermal energy. And on this planet, you would use the variation. You know, it's a kit. You can use a mouse wheel. You would use the variant convection, the ones that have these flat plates, not the variant radiation. I don't know if the radiation kind works at all here. Sorry, I can't tell. I haven't yet done the science, which you can do in this game, you know, just set things up and measure the values and compare, and that's actually fun to do. I imagine. I was always too lazy to really actually do it. But you should use a convection kind, which will help, because there's atmosphere here. So that's one way we could do it. We could pipe the atmosphere of the room out there and cool it like that. We could also pipe the atmosphere out there through a pipe in here with convection radiators. And wait a second, I want to change the music. It's a bit annoying for my taste. Someone is playing on the synthesizer instead of making music. I'm discerning, yes. So then there would be a downside, which is if I pipe my room atmosphere out there, then I can use passive liquid drains on that pipe in case there would be something in the pipe that might freeze or liquefy. I mean, it has to liquefy before it freezes, and so that would escape the pipe then and thus protect the assembly. If I do that the opposite way, from the outside to the inside, then I shouldn't do that, because then I will suddenly contaminate my atmosphere with whatever is liquefying there. But what's out there is oxygen. It's just pure oxygen. So that can't happen in the first place, so that's not a concern. So we have both these options. For cooling. Another way of cooling that we have is obviously, look at the number right down here, this one. Now the room has cooled down. And so what you could do is we could automate such a thing here, the advanced furnace. Why the advanced furnace? Because we can control it. We can say empty yourself or fill yourself more quickly. That's something you can't do. Well, you can do with the simple furnace too. You would have to slap some more stuff back here, and that would still work. So it doesn't have to be an advanced one, but we have one. So we could now go and automate this thing to heat the room in case it gets too cold here. And when it gets too warm, we can just open the door. I mean, we already have all the things that we need to climatize the entire thing here. Or we could use pipes, yes, or, you know, the cold pipe just talked about, right? But it could also use a pipe in here that uses the heat from that room and then pipes that through the entire station. That is a way to do it. But there's another way. And because, I mean, what are things that we might want to achieve? We want to achieve to make the room colder or hotter. But what we also want to achieve is we want to make sure that there's enough CO2 in here for the plants. Currently, it's already kind of critical. And maybe if there's pollution, we want to get rid of that instead of always using this beginner thing here, which is quite powerful, but it's something I think that people should leave behind, if possible, once they have established themselves, because that is to get the beginner on the planet started, to get them surviving. But it's kind of overpowered, so maybe we want to use that differently. So we have potential pollution of the air, or just the general air mixture. We have the temperature of the air, and we have the pressure of the air, and all of that has one thing in common. It is the atmosphere that you can pipe into the room directly. So if you would have some kind of central air system, there would be another way to get all this climatized. So all these options exist, and that's all I have for now. basically we could end the video now, because that's all the plans I had. The rest is flow. Let's see what happens. I mean, what will we do? Will I build this cooling and heating pipe thing, or will we use this rather radical furnace approach? I like the latter, you know. There would be a lever here when I can activate that function so that the furnace is then controlled for the climatize stuff, and this door then too with these climatize settings. And then I flip that off. I mean, I could turn the lever off so if I need the furnace myself, so the machine is not supposed to control it instead of mine. And then when I leave the room, I turn that on again, and you know, that would be a way to do it. Should we do this, or should we do something else? I mean, there's so many options. We could also set up. Oh, look at that! I also added more of these orange thingies, which are now gray. Nice, and added some 2 station batteries. And apparently, we now have enough turbines to get us through winter, even if there's no storm. Huh. Yeah. What next? Let's look at necessities. What are some necessities that we have? Always and constantly and all. You know, we have this setup here, which is flexible, with which I fill my O2 canisters for the breathing, or for the jetpack, or for the hydraulic mining, for the pneumatic mining drill. And I use oxygen for all of these because it's abundant and it's the stuff that I breathe. So in this way, when I'm on the road, I can say, okay, let's flip this around, not just so that I have something to breathe in case this runs out when I'm out there, but also if my pneumatic mining drill runs out, then I can just swap the pneumatic mining drill canister, which is like maybe at 3 or 4 megapascals, so it has become relatively slow, with this one, which might still have relatively high pressure, and just keep breathing, because there's still 3-4 megapascals of air, and my drill will be fast again. So it's a good idea to use oxygen, at least here, where we have it so readily available. How is this? Alright, okay, that's correct. Now that the sun's going down, Hulk... Oh! Just when I was saying it. Automatic light, yeah. We might actually make an assembly where we just plop in a bottle and then it will fill that bottle with the desired gas. What does desired gas mean? If you would go there, then we would basically have what central air would also require, which is access to gases, basically arbitrary access, which then a chip and some mixing devices could utilize. Yeah, where to go next? I mean, every choice is right, but we have to make one. Not making one, that's wrong. Fern seeds. I choose to make another pill. So what's on there? 1 silver, 1 cobalt, okay, 1 phenoxytone, we have to get that to 10. Ah, damn it. Do I have some here in my little fridge? Nope. My computer. Should we set up a deep miner so we get resources, so that we are not so bored by all the mining that I have to do? That would make sense. Though then we need the hydraulic mining drill less, and thus the need to refuel it with our nice thing that we could make. So this sounds almost as if we're like getting ready to build like the living room and such, where we'll just rest in peace, sitting on our asses and not doing anything. Good thing they have something new in store. Rocketworks just implemented in the beta version a feature that is called mood, a mood value. That is not actually used yet, but it takes effect, and it is, I'm not sure exactly what they wrote. It is like, for example, 1 hour of being in your spacesuit will lower your, what was it 2 hours? Will lower it from full to empty or to 0 or whatever. It doesn't do yet anything, but you can imagine that they will do something with that. And spending 10 minutes without a spacesuit will recharge it. That's the current situation. See, so they, like they said, like they announced, they will do something on the survival front. What to do next? What to do next? Yeah, I have an idea. What's its name? We have the CryoTube. And let's see what the CryoTube does. Regenerate organ damage. So, I mean, if you want to simulate organ damage, that is easily done. We just open the helmet and also a door. Then we will have organ damage in our chest. And then we enter this thing and will hopefully be healed. Shall we do that? I think so. Because that's something that I think not too many people know of how to do. So that would be a nice thing to demonstrate. I've used that before, so I think we will manage. So what we require, of course, is the kit. And what does it need? It needs steel, it needs silver, copper and gold. All of that we have. And the hydraulic pipe bender, tire 2. Just so you know, you cannot make that thing on tire 1. Hydraulic pipe bender. CryoTube. I see an apostrophe there. CryoTube. CryoTube. Apostrophe. Copper and silver. We only need 5 silver, so I will only take 5 from here. Because I otherwise don't need silver smelter. I don't want to waste that into an ingot. Oh, it's still working. By the way, some of you might have noticed in previous videos, if you saw those, that sometimes I accidentally set the air on fire by returning from the furnace, and there were some volatiles in the air, and the door opened, then suddenly you saw the fire, the entire room on fire, but the fire was coming to us from back there. Why? Because, well, the room has a reason to burn, not just fuel. It had fuel, but why did it burn? That must have been, I believe, the arc furnace over here. Or the batteries? But something over here. Silver. Go. Now we need a nice place to set that thing up. This multi-purpose room strikes me to be suitable for now. The furnace room, as awesome as it is, doesn't require such large a viewing space, so maybe we want to put up or rather here? Yeah, rather here. Oh, this, where's my spray pan? This thing's too white. Doesn't fit the environment here. Half done. So let's read about that thing again. Able to regenerate organ damage when supplied with power and an atmosphere. The long sleep is a minor miracle, blah blah blah. An atmosphere. And from the kit then you can build these two, you know? Oh, there's more explanation here. That's kind of disorderly. That should be in the main explanation, not in the kit. Because in the kit it should only say what's different for this one. Will heal players and organs, as well as revive dead players when provided with an atmosphere of nitrogen below -150 Celsius, which is doable on this planet, but I cannot simulate reviving a dead player, because that would be me. Actually, motherfucker, has anyone ever tried that? Dying and then reviving their corpse? We have to do that. Let's do that. I wonder what will happen. Will I play both? Will I see this thing standing next to me, and as I move, it will also move? No, it will not, because the game employs an interesting abstraction there. You know, it basically implements a brain. Not actually an actual brain, but the idea of a brain. So if there is an avatar standing around, then it will get a brain by you joining the server, and then it will be brained and do stuff. I think that's how it works. So we have a kit, horizontal or vertical. I think since everything is kind of makeshift still, let's use the vertical thing. And put it right here, because that is not ridiculous at all. Right next to the fire room. Oh, that placement was unfortunate. Damn! What next? Yeah, that's unfortunate that the tooltips are like this. Alright, and now it's telling me I require plastic sheets. That's also unfortunate. It should give me the full information. I mean, if I choose the wrong tool, I will learn everything. If I choose the right tool, I mean, it kind of makes sense, you know. If you choose the right tool, then the idea might be, you know what you're doing. Haha. Two hands pointing fingers at you. Eyebrows raised, pretending to be cool, sunglasses. But I think it should just be informative. I disagree. This is not the way it should be oriented. Huh. Well, let's unbuild it then. Angle grinder required. Wrench required. Meep. So we need a power connection, maybe a data connection if we are so inclined. And you can already see in the build goes there's a power switch there. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so... And then we need to let in some atmosphere. Is this placement sufficient? This might work. Ah, it's a bit close. I'm not sure if that would work. Damn. Try again. Ha ha. Polluted air. Now let's demonstrate what happens. Map. And it should be polluted again, I guess. Yep, because it just sucked away the stuff here, but you know, placing this thing close, not a bad idea. Ah yeah, and I also placed this thing in between videos, aka in video 7, which this now is, instead of the deleted file, where I can just refill my welder tank, you know? What? Will you kindly shut up? I'm doing a video here. Alright. Is it built completely, or is something still missing? Oh yeah, I need glass sheets and a screwdriver. It looked a bit bland, didn't it? Now that looks operational. And now I can click here, which would enter me, or I would enter, but I can't do that while wearing a suit. The EVA suit. I don't have to be naked. Don't have to be naked. No. Now we need to power that thing, and we need an atmosphere. Let's see what happens if I turn it on. It's saying it's currently flashing an arrow. I wonder how it can do that without electricity, but okay, let's not be so strict. That's good. And while we're at it, why not? Now let's turn it on again. Now it's actually flashing an arrow. We can see here, CryoTube vertical, pressure too low, temperature too high. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, the outside temperature is 32 degrees. Let's give it some atmosphere. It doesn't have any yet, because like all things in Stationeers, when you have a pipe inlet or just a naked pipe on the ceiling, and there's no specific opening connector, you know, like a pipe cowl or a passive vent, or the pipe just being broken, which is actually a viable way to get an airlock going on at the beginning of on a planet or moon, when you want to make an airlock that actually pumps the air outside, pumps the gas somewhere instead of just into the pipe network, to make the pipe burst artificially, and then you have your pipe cowl or your passive vent. So that is closed, even though it doesn't look like that. Now I will demonstrate something else. Pipes and pipe cowls, 3 of them. Oh my god, what will you do? Oh, no, I will only use one. Let's slap the pipe cowl on that thing. And what do we see? Pressure too low, temperature too high. Pressure too low. What pressure do we have? We have 56 kilopascals. That might indeed be too low, but the truth might be that maybe this pipe cowl doesn't count as open. Oh man, it even says that. Yeah, that's a new thing that they introduced in December, I believe. And you look here, the output of pipe cowl is blocked. You know, not visually, but actually. It's basically in the ground. So that's why you should use an upwards bent pipe in that place. And then it will not say that. So what does it say? No. Pressure too low, temperature too high. Still. Huh. Not sure what to say to that. Does the... I mean, we have to... obviously, we have to increase the room pressure, right? And that's not so hard to do. But let's see. Why does it say base power usage 10 watts? When here it said something about 600 watts. I mean, I know that these values actually come from the source code, or from the... or not from the source code, but from the program, you know? They're read out directly. That is why the Stationpedia, at least number-wise, is definitely true. But maybe certain values, even though written here, are not actually implemented effectively. So, I don't know why it says this here. We could measure how much it takes, you know? Make it, you know? Use a pipe, the cable network analyzer. So, yeah, let's increase the room pressure then. By piping in some, I believe what we could use most is CO2. The plants would thank us. Thank you! I already hear them. So this sticks out of the ground because the ground is not decorated, so I cannot measure the pipes directly, but now I can. So here we have some CO2, 18%, 9 mole, that's not too much. And we have 18 moles here. That sounds sufficient though. So let's be careful what we aim. First, let's see if the setup is empty. There is some stuff in there which is harmless though. It's directly from the surrounding environment. This is pure O2, also harmless. Then the waste gas that we will now probably have shall go to the outsides. What we want is CO2. And we want it from that pipe. What temperature will we burden ourselves with? 200 degrees, 70 degrees. That sounds like a job for a climate regulator, which we don't have yet. Shall we, before we actually go into doing this, quickly implement a room cooling solution? I mean, as in quickly, automatic room cooling solution. Let me show you how quickly that works. I will look at the source code, which is so muddled with stuff. I mean, there are so many things going on here. 3 more lines and we fall over backwards, but still we can manage, because room temperature, furnace 2, emergency venting. I just turned down the room 2 furnace 2 emergency venting to 25 degrees Celsius and we're done. Export.
Hunger critical.
So the room temperature, the warm gas that we have in this room will keep streaming into that furnace 2 room, which is cooling itself down. And, oh, see, that turned off because it's no longer too hot. And then the furnace room will realize, oh shit, I'm warm again, let's open up to the cold planet. Hurrah! I'm sweating. And then that will go into the rooms and so forth. I expect that to happen any moment now. Here we go. That's how easy that was. So now we have room cooling. So now we can risk heating up the room by these measures. Let's save. So we want the use gas to go into the room. The waste gas definitely not. We want it from this pipe. And let's go. You see the CO2 is rising. The temperature oddly is not rising. Let's see what the reason is. By turning off our base cooling. Oh right, one of the reasons might be that this is not very open. Ah yeah, that's better. Oh, now it's getting hotter. now it's getting a lot hotter. 25 degrees, 26 degrees, 26.1. But rest easy, because nothing bad can happen, as long as it doesn't rise too quickly. Downside is, this also lowers our CO2 ratio, because, you know, we're just venting out to the planet. I mean, we're still looking good. It also lowers the pressure, and that is really a problem. What can we do about that? Nothing. We would have to have a heat exchange instead of actually swapping out the atmosphere itself. Basically, currently, we're not cooling by convection, we're cooling by mass transfer. I mean, also, and also by convection, yes. So nice idea, but it doesn't actually increase the pressure high enough, does it? Anyway, now we have automatic station cooling, if we need it. But maybe we need something better. I will quickly slap something up. Let's say we just pump in some cold air from the atmosphere, but only one direction, not like this, you know, which is bidirectional. Not what we want here. So let's see to that the furnace room is cooled down to below 100 degrees. So we no longer lose that atmosphere. And then use an active vent on the outside of the station, which we already have here. Huh, yeah, but it's... Yeah, we could recycle that. I don't want to tamper with this nice setup, which is already working properly, with this kind of makeshift fix thing that I'm currently putting up temporarily, because that would be a permanent soil... yeah, whatever. That needs to be put on the outer wall. Oh. Yeah. How do I control this thing? Let's first give it a name. Makeshift. Pressure and cooling. So that the active vent can pump something to the indoors, we need to connect here, for example, a pipe cowl or whatever we floats our boat. But slapping on a passive vent is actually very nice, because you can do that directly. I mean, without a pipe in between. And in case you didn't know, the passive vent also has not just this form, which we know, you know, with a pipe connection and then it opens into the room, but it has a second one, this one. This will just be a vent opening in this room, but also in the other room, which can be a nice heat exchange or gas exchange or whatever, without the rooms actually being open to each other. So we go here, we slap that here. I am confused. Oh, right, that's the wrong type. Yeah, and now I need to control that thing. Did I already set it to mode 2? No, I did not. I mean to mode 1, to the sucking mode. Meep, meep. Come on. Set outward means it is not outward currently, it is inward. And that's what we want. Coincidentally, this means into the station and not just into the pipe network. Yes, we still have to eat and we still have to drink, but it's much more lenient. Motherfucker.
Hunger caution.
I am currently eating computer helmet that if I remove it from myself will still speak to me for magical reasons. Yes, also if I remove the suit. Ah, you can be turned off. Yeah, now I need to control that. With logic. This time I will actually not use MIPS, but just put up a logic switch. Mouse wheel, there it is already. And then we'll just turn that off, on. This is just sad. Europa, you get nothing on us. Logic switch needs to be powered. Also needs logic connection. Which direction is which switch? This, where the arrows point. Oh, logic is not sufficient. You also need power on that thing. Else it will just know to run, but it won't know how to do that. Where is this? Come on. So that's the power connection, right? Yes. It is flashing an error because it has not yet been assigned to anything. Though that is its purpose, and that is why it complains. The out shall be. Cycle to active vent. Advanced furnace. And then there will be a wicked name coming on. Everything is this. Ah, here we go. Makeshift pressure and cooling. And the output variable I want to write is on. Now we should be able to pressurize the base. This though will lead to a very cool base. I mean, too cool for my taste. 4% CO2, not bad. Anything left? Yeah, basically nothing. Few kilopascals, who cares? So let's shut that down. That is empty, no longer pollution in there. Presence of liquid. Huh. And, yeah. Oh, right. This should turn on the vent. Let's see if it does.
Temperature low.
Oh yeah, it does.
Critical.
It does.
Temperature low.
Yeah, pressurizing the base without some kind of central air concept is not good. This whole makeshift thing can blow up quite in our faces, right? Speaking of which. Okay, and now we have a heat source. Let's play balance. Oh, and close the helmet. And that's the kind of stuff you want to automate so they can concentrate on other shit instead of having to constantly, you know, fight the elements. It's still so cold over here. Unexpected. I assumed that this thing would really kick the teeth in now of the cold. Yeah, it does that, but just like the pipes, it only complains, it doesn't actually explode. Until you get here, though. But we can just click here, and then the problem is solved. So in case of emergency, push button. 18 degrees. $77 degrees. That's so fucking hot. And the plants? Well, maybe just plants. Why are you asking? Because it's kinda hot in here? Oh, we didn't notice. Yeah, well, the pressure. We have 74 kilopascals. So this is actually a working measure to increase the pressure. Atmosphere is too cold. Let's see how long this will stay there. We have minus 10 degrees, minus 5, and it's no longer complaining. I mean, it's minus 50 degrees in this room. Minus 50. How are the plants are still alive? Right, I forgot to replant these. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's too cold in here? Don't say. Pressure 88. Let's see what this thing does, for which we did all that stuff. Pressure too low, temperature too high. Conditions not met. I believe this is talking about revival and not about heating in general. So maybe we can just ignore these messages. I mean, maybe it's just like if I can breathe this atmosphere right here and then just enter this thing without my suit on, then the healing effect will take place. By the way, where are our pills? Here. Currently 4. So, in case the experiment that I intend to do soon fails, not a problem. 31 degrees. Oh man, it's too warm in here. See, but you know, if I would use this means to cool the space down automatically, then we would get higher pressure. And if the idea was to get more pressure, then we would also get temperature change. We need to be able to control all of that, you know? So that would have to be central air, or all these various piping solutions. Still heating very well. I think we have enough pressure for now. Thanks. Don't mention. 21 degrees. That's good. And the pressure is also good. So let's go to sleep, shall we? Maybe we should put up a light. Yeah, let's do that. Instead of installing a light now, I will make a portable light. Did I know I didn't do that yet in this video. Okay, in this series. Where might that be? Maybe here. Sorry, I have to shut up the program. 3 hours, thank you, no disturbances. Portable light. Iron. I have iron? Yes? Yes. Yep, just throwing it there will always land it on its side or whatever. But there's a dedicated placement key for anything and everything. Fold together. Unfold. Turn on. Turn off. Battery. Ah, shit. Nice. Nice and bright. And what's more, now I am the light. Is that the truth? Yeah, we could have played like this the whole time, but then everything would have looked kind of samey. It's kind of a cheat. I don't know. Oh, maybe okay. Cheat is taking it too far, but anyway, now let's strip, shall we? Yeah, I think that's a bit ridiculous. Hopefully, they will work on that eventually. Because I mean, that's not what I'm doing. So why the fuck does it look like that? Yeah, some music. Whatever. So, helmet, go away. Suit, go away. Backpack, go away. Tablet, go away. That, go away. Now, that's easy. We can also remove the uniform while we're at it. But I think the uniform belongs. Get in CryoTube.
Cognition low.
But this is not a bad kind of cognition low. That's what happens when you're in bed, when you're sleeping. Cognition low. It's just dangerous when that happens in everyday life. Good thing then that this doesn't happen, even if someone hits you over the head. It's not like in films, when someone hits you over the head strong enough, then you just go unconscious, and 10 minutes later or half an hour later you get up, have slight head pain and so forth. If something happens to you that actually makes you go unconscious, specifically of the physical kind, not just, I don't know, some... anyway, if someone hits you over the head so much that you go unconscious, then you will be damaged. You will need actual medical help, and maybe this will even be long-term damage. Consciousness is basically what we are at the core, and so that doesn't go away so easily.
Cognition critical.
Yeah, that's what it says now, because
Cognition low.
because the one-size-fits-all message system, you know. But we're well. However, what happens if I do this?
Temperature high. Temperature critical. Temperature high.
Oh, there's my helmet.
Temperature high.
80 degrees. Man, this room is 80 degrees hot. Fuck me sideways. Not good for my health. I enter the furnace. Oh man, the room is so hot the door is even opening.
Oxygen low. Temperature high.
What just happened with oxygen low probably is that my lungs are already so damaged that I can't get enough oxygen. Now let's see if that thing hits me.
Cognition low.
Oh, it's already gone. Which begs the question, was that actually real? So let's make sure that we know.
Temperature critical. Oxygen low. Oxygen critical.
I think we are now really, really damaged. The lungs are now damaged. If I would eat a pill, that would go away. But now that we have this thing, and all I had to do really, slap it on, electricity, forget the logic connection, I could just remove that. Turn it on, and have just your normal room atmosphere, probably not even the pressure that I have here. That was probably unnecessary, because the message here is still the same. This probably pertains to revival. And I go in here.
Cognition low.
I guess the healing is setting in. Oh, and here we go. Lung damage is gone. So once you have the Tier 2 manufactory, a pipe bender probably. Yep, pipe bender Tier 2, for which you first need the electronics printer Tier 2, for that prints the other ones. Then you can do away with pills, at least when it comes to healing within your station. Also, if you're on a server, a multiplayer, and you are in such a tube, then you will not consume any water or any food. I don't know what happens to oxygen.
Cognition critical. Cognition low.
There is actually a thing where you can put in your spacesuit and it will recharge the batteries and empty the waste tank and will refuel your oxygen and so forth. You have to engineer that thing entirely, right? I mean, at least, you put it there and then you have to put on the pipes and you have to supply all the gases and so forth. But what you still have to do manually is you have to put your helmet and all that down there. And that's kind of tedious. I wonder if you could pull an Iron Man at some point in this game and just walk through some kind of portal kind of thing, and then it will do all of that for us, and on the other side we come out quasi-naked. That would be nice. So we have now seen that the automatic door works, that the lung damage works if desired, that the healing of the lung damage works, and on multiplayer, yeah, I don't know what happens if the atmosphere here goes away while you're in there, if your avatar will actually die. I would assume so. That is to be assumed, you know. It's not just a safe box. Okay. So that worked. Ridiculously, I am still a bit out of ideas. So, we could do plant genetics maybe? I don't know anything about that, I haven't tried that yet. also personally doesn't tickle me too much, for the plants are not too interesting in this regard. I mean, you can actually alter some... Well, you know what, let's fucking do it. Whatever. Let's do something I've never done before. Network analyzer, appliance, seed tray. My assumption is we will need that for the genetic stuffs. Plant genetic stabilizer, splicer and analyzer. Let's make all of these. Oh, let's look here. Plants have a set of genes that modifies its behavior. Will be manipulated a number of ways. Artificially or naturally. Naturally, we have done that quite a bit, and I've talked about that slightly. Condition over its life, so if it's always cold, the next generation of the same plant will be more tolerant to cold. That's of course completely unrealistic, because that's not at all how evolution works, or at least not at that fucking speed, but you know. Plant sampler and plant genetic analyzer. These tools allow you to sample a growing plant and see the state of its genes. And then, I mean, now we have heard about the analyzer and the sampler, but what about the splicer and the stabilizer? Here I can copy a gene that I like to another plant. And the stabilizer means probably that the stabilizer increases our gene stability by 50%. Destabilize decreases by 10% other than chosen gene which received my assumption is that this increases the mutation rate. How do we make these? First we need the sampler. The plant sampler takes 2 manufacturing, and the genetic analyzer electronics printer. So let's make both of them. Let's do some science in this station. Maybe that's okay, but why are we even on this fucking moon? Why did we come here? To do some space science. I mean, like, the ISS is up there to do some space research, low gravity and so forth, and we are here on this moon because blah 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 reasons, but anyway, now that we're here and we're surviving, it's time to do the science. Tool. And I think we will need a work table, which we probably still have. Yep. It will probably be fugly, so let's spray paint it. Let's do that in our Omni room, which is still a bit too dark, and we have seen that we have plenty of electricity, so let's put up some lights here. Of the same kind, so that will automatically turn off and on. By the way, how much electricity the fuck? Oh, right here, haha. How much are we using? 800 watts. Once we reach 5000, cables will burst, and they will burst in a random place. I will not talk about that in detail now, but that's something we're fine. We're looking pretty fine. How warm is it in there? Bit too warm.
Temperature low. Temperature critical.
What the fuck? So powerful! I mean, the cold out there is really absolute murder. No wonder my lungs take damage when I stand in this room for just a few seconds, while the furnace with its 80 degrees is basically tickling. Table, electricity, light. Oh, that reminds me, there's also some kind of bench, desk light. Maybe we also want to utilize that while we're at it. I don't know which one we need, and I find it ridiculous that this is not just one thing with a kit. Maybe that's just an early thing they developed and that's the reason. I guess we have to make a choice then. First of all, where will we put these? Fuck. Haha. Less easy on this side. What? Oh, never mind. I had no clue. That's fine then, I guess. How natural it behaves and how normal it is to us to expect that it will do so. Table. Must be a power table. Yeah, it might be a bit boring to always use the kitchenette, but okay, let's use this then. Somehow I'm not happy with the placement. Maybe better. Shut up, you whiny baby. By the way, this value here of whether the thing's blinking can certainly be checked from afar, I guess. So we can just check the state of our station pollution by just looking at that value and then letting some lamp in the station blink or whatever. Error, for example. Error, read. Yeah, we can just read whether there's an error. Electricity. Ah, done. I will put the lamp on the left side. Damn. Do I not have silicon somewhere else? Okay. Wait, what? Do I not have to attach that? Exactly. I never used this thing before. I need to put a sample in there. No completed sample to view. A wrench can be used to unfasten, fasten appliance and power bench. Well, next step would obviously be the sampler. How's our power doing? Fine. There's the plant sampler, which needs a battery. Did I have a small one here somewhere? I shredded all of them, you know. Except for one. Which plants would we be more interested in? Potatoes or these guys? Well, we have enough food, even before I cheated with the food. So, but let's say we would want to make like a pill mass production or something. I don't even know if that can be automated. Then we would want to be able to have fast fern or whatever, maybe if that's possible. I have a sample. Ah. I wonder if that would have worked without this thing being on. Let's see. Let's just also sample a potato for contrast. Turn off. Place. And what happens now that you have two samples in this whole setup? I wonder. Left click to view completed sample information. Okay, assumption. The sample that you most recently placed replaces a sample that was in there before. So we're looking at the potato and we cannot look at the fern. So, growth temperature range. We already saw that with the Plant Analyzer Cartridge. What we didn't see though was how far the kinda still okay-ish ranges reached. Only the core range is what we saw regarding temperature and pressure and growth speed multiplier. See, that's exactly a thing that might be interesting. And maybe we want to loosen that so that it could like mutate around, and then we get some worse values and some better ones. Then we take the better ones and breed those. You know, I'm pretty sure we could breed plants to be rather performant Only let's just assume for a moment that we did so, which would take a long time to do, then in the end we would have a plant that grows faster and we wouldn't even notice because we're busy setting up the deep miner. So I'm not sure if that's something we should pursue right now. Probably not, but let's at least learn about this stuff. Light per day, darkness per day, gas production, but not as much as I would like. Then again, yeah, I have too much, I have CO2 problems sometimes, so it's good that they're not too greedy, you know? Water usage, undesired gas resistance. Huh. Drought damage, toxin damage, frozen damage. 4 minutes, I could leave them 4 minutes at absolute zero and there would not be any damage? That sounds a bit excessive. Overheat damage, suffocation damage, low pressure damage, high pressure damage, light damage, darkness damage. And that's what it is, you know? I mean, it's pretty, I don't know, basic, but that's what you get. This is the knowledge that we have about this stuff now. What can we do then with the other things? That was the analyzer. We have the splicer and the stabilizer. Let's take the splicer. Oh fuck, we need stellite and inconel. We need to make those with the advanced furnace. Can't make them yet. I mean, we cannot produce this now. And the stabilizer, same shit, different thing. Huh. Actually, truly, I don't know what to do next. What could we do? I mean, there's so many possible options. So I think what we could do is we go shopping. We turn on all these nice manufactories, which are of the advanced kind, so we can see everything they can possibly make. And then we see what they can make. And maybe then we find an inspiration. Lamps, the packaging machine. I would need some soy oil. So basically, maybe we could make a greenhouse, a proper greenhouse. That would be something. A greenhouse with proper atmosphere and temperature control. That would take a few hours at least to make, of course. And that would be then in the general direction of central air once more. And also think about this, our gas bottle refueling station. That is also one that needs kind of all gases at its disposal and the capacity to heat or cool and so forth. So that's basic. That all that comes down to one thing that we would need: an absolute control of all gases with temperature and pressure, from which we then can descend into the details of this abstraction pyramid to manifest the gas bottle filler or the greenhouse thing or the central air. Microwave, already did that. Paint mixer. I don't think the paint mixer is actually a thing in the game. I mean, that's probably a remainder. Because what is the paint mixer good for? You cannot mix paints. It doesn't explain here what it does. Resources used. And it manufactures all the different colors. And we don't need that at all. I think that was how they did it early, and then they realized that spray painting stuff to highlight what it does, like this is volatiles and that is heat and that is and so forth, is kind of important, and so people shouldn't be held away from that too strictly. And then they said, okay, whatever, it's one iron in the tool manufactory, there's your color. So this is probably remainder. Maybe it can be done still, maybe it can be used still, but no, let's not go there. Paint mixer. Tablet dog. Yeah, let's make one. Just to see what that is. It's actually not useful in my opinion, because they are very what's the word? They don't want to invest too much rendering time, let's say that. So you cannot actually see what the tablet is measuring, you know. Though, I mean, if you do remember maybe in another video when I put the tablet here, I could then see, I cannot currently see the room measured, but when I selected the tracker and was pointing at myself, then I could see there how far I was away from the tablet. So, and I think these measurements here to be used, that make this current display content happen, are not really what makes this expensive. What makes this expensive is to render that screen content anew and afresh when it's just out there in the world. And therefore I rather consider it an oversight or a bug that this doesn't work for the gas stuff, but it works for the tracker stuff. Where will we put the tablet stand? Over here in our little makeshift apartment? Yeah, let's put it on the ground then. This is a too slow. What is that?
Power low.
Oh, you can actually power that thing. Then I would assume that we're talking table once more. Let's make a table. Force of habit. Can it be screwed? Yes. Okay, now we need to power the table. Well, the advanced spacesuit would be nice, right? We could do some programming, automatic opening, closing of helmet, depending on stuff. For that, we need the advanced stuff, so I guess eventually we need to go there. And for that, then, I would have to go mining again. Or that would be necessary, while the station is kind of drifting on its lucky configuration of kind of having the right temperature and pressure for whatever random reasons, you know. We're really surfing here. It's not stable. This is not professional. You know what we should do at some point? We should try to make a hotel. We should make something like a hotel, where our guests will be safe, where they can have their rooms and there will be proper air and all of that, and then we move in ourselves. We wouldn't do that for ourselves right here, right? Like I wouldn't do quite a few things that I'm doing here on video if I were just playing this myself. And here's the tablet dock. So let's see, the tablet has currently, and that's I think what this is about, a charge of 94%. Let's turn that thing on and place it there. You can now see we're still not benefiting, but I believe the tablet is now being charged. I don't know if this thing with the content not rendering will change eventually, I have no clue. $94. Oh my god, that was successful. Okay, what else can we produce? Advanced airlock. Way ahead of you. Air control. What was that again? Yeah, that was, for example, to control two active vents to produce a draft together, so that you don't have to do all the fiddly stuff yourself. We're of course beyond that, so we don't need that. Automated printer mod. Nuclear battery, we need the advanced alloys. Wireless, yeah, that's what we need, enough electricity for that, which we kinda have, but now that we have the large batteries, I'm not sure if we should go there. Not sure what that is. I think that is we're clicking over here and over there the door opens or closes. Not interesting to us, I believe. The GPS cartridge. Yeah, that would be nice to know where we are. Why not? Let's do that thing. Which also gives us good opportunity to go back to the tablet. And check out its battery. Which is at 93, motherfuck? You're kidding me. Oh, did I turn that off? Okay, that's not good then. This is just where we are. In world boxes, you know? It's just the objective absolute coordinate. And I keep hearing, still to this day, even though they fixed stuff, that the world coordinate 0, 0, 0 is cursed and the place is very close to it. We're not very close to it right now. So all kinds of stupid shit can happen, supposedly there. You know, sudden atmosphere in your rooms that shouldn't be there and whatever. That's what I heard. I've never experienced it myself. I mean, I have had ghost atmosphere in my room sometimes, but that had different reasons, I believe. So, what happens if I place that? What's the battery? 93. Okay, now we can see where the tablet is. Dude! Not fair.
Waste tank critical.
Oh, it didn't work? Need to blow that away. Oh, that would be nice if you could just pick up a tool which just creates some airstream in the very direction that we're pointing if we supply the gas and like pfft, to blow stuff around. That would be nice. Any news on this front? 98%. Yeah, okay, that's what it does then. It charges. Charges that thing. See how rarely we now have to eat and drink, but it's still a real thing. So this mod really does the trick. And maybe you want to do that routinely, you know? Play on Stationeer difficulty, get a foothold, and if everything is stable, or definitely your food and water is definitely stable, turn off the annoyance, but enjoy the rest. You know, that's what I would do. Okay, where are we? GPS gas display shows you, for example, pressure or temperature. If you have a gas sensor attached. That's just in a console, you know. Graph display. When I probe my head whether there would be interest in LCD displays and to show various values upon them, then someone is jumping up and down and clapping his hands and saying, yes, yes, do that. I don't know if you should take that guy seriously, but maybe you should go there. Graph display. Yeah, if you've seen one of my if this video, I have a video where thorough MIPS assembler introduction stuff, blah blah, right? There I show the graph display to some degree. Very cool thing, but also quite limited. Hash display sounds a bit weird, but you can actually show, for example, the image of iron or some such. So if you give it the right value, it will use that value. It basically is the opposite of what we're usually doing. Usually we're saying, what's the hash of the door? And here we would say, we give it the door hash and we'll show the image of the door. I don't know if it can show your door, but it can definitely show your iron, which is useful to build some kind of programmed advanced furnace where you just choose, I want to make iron or Inconel and something, then the furnace will adjust itself, you just toss in the ingredients and out comes the product. That's what this does. And that source exists. I've never done that myself. At some point I will try. I will not download other people's sources. Nope. Why would I? IC editor motherboard, of course. Yeah, we have that in our computer here. necessary, or we would also have to put that in our laptop. And of course we love these, right? These guys for MIPS assembler programming. Solar panels. The heavy one does not get damaged by storm. We could place these outside, but that's also not so good, because the ideal solar panel points itself at the sun, because it really makes a brutal fucking difference, really strong difference, whether you actively point your solar panels at the sun or whether you just leave them like, it's a solar panel, it's gonna work, you know. That makes a huge difference in energy production. Solar panels are basically the best way to make energy in this game, except if you have a storm planet and have large stage batteries, because then you would build large wind turbines, not these tiny dildos here, but the large ones, and then you would get during storms so much electricity that if you have enough large batteries, that will be your power plant. Weather station, guess what? We have that up there. And the next storm is a ways off, else that would be yellow. Medical Analyzer, let's make that one, though it's kinda boring still, but that will probably change. You can bet your ass that this is one of the fronts that will change at some point. Well, else it's your ass, I mean, really. So, Logic Motherboard is... yeah, that's some kind of an interface where you can click together some things, which you can also do with logic chips, I think. This kind of combines multiple logic chips, I think. Maybe we should try that, so we have seen what that is. Then we have the research machine. That was something that was necessary. I mean, the game is like 6 years old now, though it's still in early access, and I have no problem with that. I love it the way it is. And they keep improving it, and I love that too. So everything right now, including the fact that it's changing, is perfect. Keep it that way. Research machine. That was, I mean, it will be useless here. It gives us, I don't know, you can basically achieve, I guess you can achieve making the electro printer, which at the beginning you couldn't, so you first had to research. That's maybe how it was. Then the Logic Motherboard, gold, and the Medical Analyzer. We can try all these 3 things. So, what is this? Well, we don't know what to do, so we're trying out shit. I know, not the stupidest plan, right? That is because it's my plan. Let's use first the Medical Analyzer. Medical Analyzer, owner of the place, that is my pseudonym in the game and in the forum on Discord. Body, no damage. Organs, none found. Well, if well, sometimes you see the body displayed here where the mouse is, and I don't know if it can actually take damage, but if you have taken damage in your lungs, I think the body will also show up. I'm not sure yet how that works. We could, yeah, you know, let's do the lung damage dance again. Why not?
Temperature low.
Oh. Not the best idea, we're losing atmosphere. Losing atmosphere. That shouldn't happen.
Critical.
Come on, get hurt. Suffer! Yeah, again, like I already said a few times and also in the forums, I hope they will implement some kind of screen effects, because a robot voice telling you that your lungs are on fire, basically, that's bullshit. I mean, this game tries to be as realistic as it can be. This means that if there would be some kind of lung damage, some pain thing going on, some current suffering, then it would have to express that with the small interface that it has available, which is sound and visuals. So if you are too hot, then you should hear your flesh sizzle in the heat, maybe. You know, like a steak in a fucking frying pan. And maybe even the image, the screen could actually show some image in the corner of your skin burning off or something. And there could also be a vignette effect of some dark red or whatever, which flashes or pulses, or blue if it's cold, stuff like that, you know? That should be in there, some primary experience in that small interface that we have, visual and audible, you know? instead of the computer voice telling us stuff. Yeah, but you can tell that it's crutches, you know, like the microwave, which works in a completely ridiculous way. I mean, if you click once too often, then there are like 2 potatoes in there, and there's no designed recipe for that. So if you heat that up, it will produce nothing, and then afterwards the microwave will be empty. It's of course bullshit. But I'm not complaining about what they're doing. What they're doing is they have like 3.5 people, or I don't know, or 5 maybe, working on this project, and they're getting paid, yes, but the overall budget for the project comes from their other things, because this game doesn't make enough money. But they will keep doing it because they love it, and they understand, I assume, how awesome this game is, and how outstanding and how important this game is in gaming. Because this will have quite some impact. Give it a few decades. We will look back and say, yeah, that was Stationeers. I tell you. Anyway, primary experience. Yeah, they basically a small team, and so they can make quite large strides with the right moves. For example, hey, we need some kind of food system, and then they can whip something up and put it in here, and then yeah. Then you have that. That's not something that they dig to do these days. They are aiming more to transport the things from the lower levels of the pyramid of abstraction to the higher levels of the pyramid of abstraction, and then let it emerge from there. So instead of putting these manifestations down here, which are then kind of concrete but also kind of crappy, they want to build things in a meaningful way on a higher abstraction level, and then these lower levels will emerge meaningfully from there, and they will work properly instead of being these kind of makeshift implementations. And I believe what we have here with the health stuff is also that makeshift implementation. Will come much more thorough later. Medical Analyzer, no longer needed. Let's put it away then. Put it away. And then we had the Atmos Analyzer, and wanted to take a look at the logic board for the computer. Batteries? Whatever. Do that with your computer, I dare you. No, don't. Because you cannot watch my videos with that then. Create new state. State 1. This strikes me to be an execute button. Rename. And delete. Conditions. Actions. I think this is kind of a programming language for people who hate to be freed by learning actual programming, but want to clicky bunty something, you know? Just click some stuff. Conditions. Bench. Counter style. Powered bench. Wall light. Long wide. Oh, we have the logic. Oh, we have this logic writer switch over there for sucking in atmosphere. Then here we can select which aspect of this we want to check. For example, whether it's on. And then we can see what it does. Is equal to or is less than, so forth. See, this looks quiet, our programming statements, except cumbersome. And then we can check for 0. And what that does, I'm not sure. Oh, right, this just expresses what the situation is, but that's not... Is that what's happening? Well, let's change this then. Enter new value. 1. It's on?
Temperature critical.
Yeah. How is it on right now? Am I looking at the wrong logic writer switch? Maybe I should use something else, because that's too hazardous to test, you know. CryoTube vertical. That is easy. And then we can see whether it's on. On equals 1. Nah. See, now it's currently on is equals 0, aka it is off. And now it is not off. What can we do then based upon this? Now we have the conditions. What shall happen if the condition is fulfilled?
Hunger caution.
We shall eat. Now, we can, for example, I think the things that we're seeing here are listed in the order in which they have been created, but this might not be reliable. I mean, we are currently still within the same game session. I don't know what happens if we reload. Anyway, bench counter style. So if that, we want to turn that thing on when we turn on the, you know what, you know? I don't know what this button does. Maybe this is like the export button of the programming thing. As in, whatever I click here, it doesn't really take effect unless I click once here, but I'm not sure. I doubt what I just thought. Okay, let's look here. It's off. That didn't work. Oh. That might be some kind of logic writer related stuff, you know. The logic writer only writes something when the value changes. And maybe that's what's going on here too. At least we can do something like, okay, let's see if it makes sense what we have programmed here. We have said CryoTube vertical on equals 0. If that is the state that, and I think we can conclude that by now, is new, happens, emerges, not as a current state, but is the state that is now made, you make it happen. If you make that happen, then this thing will make happen this. It will turn on the bench. Then we can add more actions to make more things happen. And then we have this next state thing. I'm not sure what that means. I assume that has something to do with the concept of and or. I mean, let's look here. We can create a new state. Here we see this yellow box which ends down here. So when we create a new state here, it's basically as if we don't have anything here yet. We just like start over, so to speak. We can check if, maybe if this thing is on or whatever. A different switch. We can check if the switch is on. We can also probably, let's select a gas sensor just for fun. Select a gas sensor. Interesting. I think if we do this, the condition counts as fulfilled. So we don't need a condition at all. We can just say take the action because the condition is fulfilled. Take action, period. Interesting. But okay, let's look at the gas sensor. No. Oh, that again. Yeah, that interface. They are everywhere, and again they are so fucked up. What you can do though is you can scroll and then you can release kind of where you want it to go on the left side here in the list, and then the list will stay, and then you can use the mouse wheel, which is still, I mean, really, that is something that I keep complaining about, and I don't fucking get why they don't change that. I mean, how hard can it be to say, okay, times 10, next thing? Isn't it something that should fit in between 2 meals or between whatever? I mean, like I said, they should set away like 3 hours a week for random shit instead of the focused agenda that they have, which is very good. They're really productive. But yeah, they should set some hours aside for random shit, and this then would be one of those, you know. I want some sensor. Come on. I mean, you can tell that using this is basically bullshit, but they will eventually implement a better form. Maybe not of this, not necessarily, but you know, greenhouse daylight sensor. Let's use that then. Then now in this drop down, it offers everything that is related to it, everything that we know basically also from the. I always say basically when it's just straight up that thing. So the things that are offered in the Stationpedia, for example, the vertical angle, which we already know. And here we can check if it is 0. That does make sense to compare that because we're dealing with decimal numbers here. So let's say less than 0. No, it's not. But let's say it's less than 90. If it's less than 90, then then it's daytime. So currently it's not daytime. But we can also do this. Is it greater than 90 then? Yes, it is. It's currently nighttime. See, that's cool. I mean, the logic board is actually nice, except, you know, the interface, the interaction is complete dog shit. But apart from that, it's actually pretty good. And what shall it take then? What action shall it take then? Blah blah blah. Okay, that's state 2. What was this next state thing? I'm pretty sure what has to happen here is okay, let's delete this and go to next state. And then we say, oh. Okay, I don't know what this means. Maybe this whole thing is kind of an and a comparison, and I don't understand it. I guess you would have to experiment a bit with that. Yeah, so much for the Logic Motherboard, you know, nice thing, kind of, but not quite. Now for the research station, which we won't need at all, but let's see what it does at least. Oh. Ooh, okay, I need some space for that. Obviously I want to unbuild that as soon as possible. Okay, it looks kind of like a Cray computer, doesn't it? Deconstruct. Iron sheets? Fuck me, I always pick the right or wrong tools instead of the ones that are actually unfitting, so that it will tell me what fucking tools I will need. Oh, I need 6. Thank you! This video will lend itself very well to chaptering, I think. Screwdriver and 9 electronic parts? Dude! 9 of them? I have some. So I need 8 more. I wonder if there will later actually be some electronics where you use a soldering iron. And possibly then you can have bad... I mean, im Deutschen sagen wir kalte Lötstellen. I don't know what you say in English, like cold spots or weak soldering spots or whatever. Soldering, by the way, isn't hard. It's just you have to take care not too long in the same spot, but also make sure that it's hot enough so that the yeah, whatever, really flows there. Well, don't force it to be there; it will go there itself if the heat is right. 8, 9, okay. Okay, it does look like hell and Cray. Does it need electricity? Actually, you know what? That's no. Let's not read that. Let's read that afterwards, because there will be spoilers. What? What is that? Ah, crap. Okay, let's remove that floor thingy. It's in the way. Everyone just wanted to eat that. What the fuck is... It's dangerous. So, oh, the crowbar is in there. And that, no one knows. And this, connection data. What this is good for, I don't know. Then we have the power connection. Let's connect the power then. Crap. That was a connection. Okay. I think this goes kind of in the direction of Stationeers. And I guess this whole thing cannot be used at all in the current state of the game. Let's see what we can learn here. Research. The research machine. It doesn't tell us anything. Fuck. And neither here. Okay, I'm disappointed. At least some text would have been fine. You know? Like, this is no longer used. Maybe I need these things so that I can possibly see a recipe? Maybe we should try that. Astroloy. Wait, Astroloy? That's basically mid-game stuff. Research capsule red. Iron, gold, copper. Made from electronics printer tire 1. Let's make research capsule red. If you can make that and see if something happens. What's that electronics printer? Yep. Only one? That might not be enough to test the hypothesis. Oh. Still 0, so I have to put it in the machine. Okay, that seems right. Oh. But it's still showing 0, what the fuck, man? Why is it showing 0? I put 1 in there. I am confused. I don't think we can actually use this thing. Oh, then, oh! Now it has that red thing within. Okay, interesting. I just don't... I mean, maybe these things show up if you have enough of these. But I think it's just useless. But since we are this far, let's make 9 more of the red ones. What does it take? Iron and copper. And later we can just throw them in recycling and get half our resources back. So, let's put them in there then. Check it out. Nothing. Klicken Sie bitte hier. I am confused. Oh, now it's doing that. Aha. So yeah, I get it. You have to put in these research capsules, which you can manufacture yourself, but maybe the idea was like you find them when you drill in the mountain or whatever, to have some reason to go out there and so forth. But I don't think they want to go there now, but I'm not sure. I mean, it would be nice if going someplace would actually make a difference, instead of just being a different mountain, and possibly there's some iron there or not. Okay. Okay, this seems like a very, very slow, tedious, unfun process. Now we have these. There's still nothing, so I assume now this is a waste of time. So, let's fuck that thing off. That's easy. It caught that itself. So. Oh, that's not nice. Okay, so much for the research machine. What else do we have? Logic Motherboard, we have seen that. Medical Analyzer, we have seen that. Mode control, that is to change the mode of whatever device that you assign. For example, to set an active vent, you put that in a console, then you can use the console to control the mode of the device that this is about. Probably then you select the device by plugging in the disk and you see the list of attached devices that you could possibly choose. And I could, for example, use a console to change the direction of the active vent out there, which sucks the air from the planet. Network Analyzer, we have seen that, at least in another video. You point at a cable, then you see a list of all devices that there are and how much they're currently consuming. Instead of a summary, you know, or whatever. Ore scanner cartridge is for the... Yeah, maybe I can show the ore scanner at some point, but it's kind of boring. I don't know if they make a difference or if that makes a difference. Pipe in a more portable composter. Yeah, composter, I haven't used that yet, but composting can be used to produce a N2O, I believe. The portable composter, what does it do? Accepts food, decayed food, or biomass. Requires a fuel canister and a battery to operate. Creates fertilizer, which means fertilizer means alters plant growth processes, so your plants grow faster. This is probably not so much necessary, I think, or I mean, when you're in a desperate spot, then you probably don't have fertilizer ready. Advanced composter. It requires water and power. So you don't need fuel gas, so that thing will turn the water into fuel gas automatically, but I assume that will take a lot of electricity. 10 watts, okay. But that's the base power usage, they say that for a reason. Plant yield, oh, it's not about plant speed, but one plant giving 4 potatoes, for example. Oh, yeah, depending on what you put in there, interesting. Okay. But currently, no, not so much into that. Power control. I'm standing over here and switch the machine in the next room. Not something we are too interested in, since we're beyond that already. Rocket control motherboard. Well, to do the rocket stuff we need the advanced alloys, so not for now. Solar control is for orienting the things towards the sun, still needs some doing, but you know. Solder motherboard. At the solder motherboard we would need to configure lots of sorters for our park of silos where we get from the deep miner and the centrifuges iron and coal and copper and all that. We want that to move to the respective silo. That's what that does. Then we can actually make music in this game, and these are some instruments you can use. Tracker, we know that. It shows us where to go when we want to go home, for example. eReader. The eReader, I believe, is kinda useless, but maybe let's take a look. Iron, damn it. That one, of course, goes into the tablet. Encyclopedia. Oh. Why is it showing charcoal when I'm... Why is it showing charcoal now? Oh, I can use a mouse wheel. Oh, interesting. And I can also point at stuff, apparently. Why is it showing me the active vent when I point at this thing? Apparently it's bugged. But anyway, okay, let's see what it shows. Hash, flashpoint, auto ignition. See, I mean, maybe it could be useful, but currently, in my opinion, it's not. Oh, could it be there's some text here that's just currently not visible? Oh, maybe it's even an overlooked bug. Anyway, not of interest to us now. Go away. eReader, HMiningDrill repair kit. Well, we have no HMiningDrill. This is one thing that you can actually play. Then you don't need to eat or drink or breathe. You just have a battery. But you're very dependent on it, and you're also very... You have a problem with coal, and you're a robot, and all of that is possible by DLC. And of course, we will buy all the 4 DLCs there are, right? The cosmetics pack, the HMiningDrill pack, the Cerulean pack, where you can play the Ceruleans which breathe in volatiles and breathe out N2O, which both combined is the most powerful fuel you can have. And then we have this, Amy. I never made it, but I think you need the advanced stuff. Yeah. Need the advanced stuff. So that's a long-term goal, really. I've never used that, and it's supposedly at least interesting. Composter, advanced furnace. Autominer is you find some kind of iron out there, for example. You slap down the Autominer, it will just drill down and take all there is, but it will take more than what you could take with your drill. At least that's what I heard. So that can be efficient, I guess. You know what? Let's make that thing and use it. Steel electrum invar. Do we have invar? And not right now, but I mean I want to prepare it. The next time we go mining, we take that thing and see how nice it helps, or it doesn't. I mean, I've never used it. Maybe it's actually awesome. Steel. Do I really not have any more steel? 45. 189. Okay. Yeah, electrum. Electrum. $50 grams. That's expensive, man. I hope that thing is worth it. Smalls. Okay. I admit, this video, while interesting in regards to what does this do, what does that do, I'm curious, kind of like, You can peruse it without having to do it yourself. I'm doing that for you. It's otherwise rather boring, right? There's no explodey stuff, we're not building something, we're not striving towards something, and I don't like that. But that's the way it is today, and I will continue with that until I don't know, Hitler returns or something from the dead. Which he can't. Or he is not dead. No, I mean, no one returns from the dead. Dead is the end. Death is the end. There are people who believe differently. I smile when I think about those people. That thing is small, I guess. Huh. Autominer small. Well, let's put it here. In case we go out there mining, you know? Ah yeah, maybe I wanna... Oh, what's with my lungs? Right.
Critical.
Right, I remember damaging them. What happens if I enter this now? Nothing. This thing doesn't take effect. Because it's not powered.
Cognition low.
By the way, it reminds me, I said something about this thing keeps you fresh when you're on a server. That might actually not be true. I mean, it might be true, but what I was actually... I thought I was talking about the sleeper, because that does that. The sleeper does that.
Cognition critical.
Yeah.
Cognition low. Power critical.
Yeah, the sleeper. Oh, there's one specifically for droids. What is the sleeper? Oh, it doesn't say. Fuck. It doesn't say anywhere. That sucks, man. So let's make one. And to show you how that works. That's what I thought I was doing when I set up this thing. The sleeper will not heal you. It's just for you to rest in. That's just... Okay, I'm not gonna make it now. The sleeper is very similar to this thing. It has its horizontal and vertical variants. And you can also slap a pipe on it and reach so that it reaches the room that will power it, and you enter it, and then you can sustain yourself on a server. That's what I thought I was talking about when I described this thing. So I believe they behave equal in this regard, except this thing also heals you. So... Not sure if instead of a sleeper you wouldn't rather always do this thing, you know, instead. Unclear. Ah, right, I wanted to eat. And drink. So how many do we have? 2. Okay, let's harvest some then. I mean, I like this whole stuff with plant genetics and so forth, but I mean, ultimately, there's so much more fun to be had on other fronts.
Hunger, caution.
So it seems like that's a waste of time. I think it could be very interesting if you play together, you know? Well, because then you can say this guy is responsible for this, that guy is responsible for that, and maybe that's even the idea, because the foundation of this game is Space Station 13, which Dean Hawthorpe was a nice thing to play, and he wanted to make this kind of version of that. And then it has become something else, I would say, but it could still be become also the Space Station 13, I think, you know, at least in multiplayer. Now, what else can we find here? In this machine? Well, there are 4 of them. Amy, advanced composter. Yeah, that's the station battery. Beacon, we already know that one. That's the non-portable kind, and it eats 300 watts when it runs, motherfucker. Cable analyzer, we have seen those, yeah, in the ground. Kit computer is standing right over yonder, and kit consoles is in our airlock. Kit elevator. Well, I've never built one, but I've seen one in action. It's really just an elevator. You know, enter, you can ride up, you can ride down. The station is too small to reasonably build one. We have seen these in action. Fridge large, not yet, but that takes the advanced... Oh, we have those now. Yeah, what's there to be seen? You put that thing up, you give it electricity, and then it's a locker, except it keeps shit fresh. That's what it does. And you should close it, I heard, because otherwise food will not last that long. Gas fuel generator. I think that is something that we have from the beginning. Let's see. No, that's a portable generator. Did I recycle that? I don't think so. Yeah, the portable generator. You plop your battery. Only you can put a battery in here, and then you stuff your welder fuel tank right in here. Push the button, and then it will use the gas to generate electricity, which is viable. But you need the welder gas, don't you? You know. But it's an option, you know. I mean, the game start is currently like it is. But imagine it were different. Imagine you had different stuff at the beginning. For example, this thing not, and that thing not, and this thing not, but instead you would have an extra canister, like the air canister that we have here, and it would be full of welder gas. And then suddenly the gameplay would be quite different at the beginning. And you can... something that maybe not everybody knows is there is a portables connector, I think that is here. And that works on all portables. So if I place that thing here, then I can lug this tank here on that thing, and when it's kinda on there, then I can use my wrench to affix it properly, and afterwards this valve will no longer be accessible, aka be careful what you do there, because if you, for example, have a pipe cowl already down there on the gas opening, then this means this stuff will then be open and will just come into the room. You know, that's what it does. But you can also slap this thing down, or the what's its name, the air scrubber, and then you will have access to these to the gases. Or this thing then will be connectable to electricity. Is there an electricity outlet here? I don't see it, but or maybe it's not the portables connector, but something like that exists. That was not nice of me to do. Ah, crap. Hand drill! Okay, it doesn't work in this case. I thought you could do that to all of these. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this one... Here, let's read up on that. That's the portable generator. Oh, that's... Ah, yeah, you need the power connector. Attaches a kit portable generator to a power network. Yeah, enough said. So that's a different kind of connector then. I think they should change the portables connector to also have a power connection so that it's universal. I think that would make more sense. Instead of having one specific connector for this thing, for this one device. But there was the gas fuel generator here, which is not the portable generator. And what does the gas fuel generator do then? We need more iron. And therefore, we curse the day with the fist raised to the sky In a doomsday voice. Give it to me, it's mine. Nine more. Okay, this will take a while. We can already continue here. The grow light, we get one now from the start, because when they changed the skybox, they made a grow light necessary on some planets. Instead we don't get tomato seeds, you know. Harvey, that's a thing that you place on, you could say, the ceiling above a hydroponics pod, and then this will be capable of harvesting and will also be capable of replanting if used correctly, and this can be automated with logic and stuff. So you can have a greenhouse that ultimately shits out seeds, you know, and produce. You can completely automate that. I didn't do that yet, but it is possible, I know. Kit hydroponic station is like a big square table where you can plant 4 plants. I think it has a built-in grow light, but you have to turn the device on for the grow light to be on, and you have to control the grow light yourself still. And I think it accelerates the growth of the plants a bit. IC housing, we know very well. Landing pad. Well, that is for trading. That's maybe something we should do at some point. So I can show you what that's like. Landing pad basic. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to do a 5x5, so we need 14 of these. Can I afford that? I guess. What's this? A gas fuel generator. My knowledge of this thing is that in case you need some heat in your station, and well, we're on Europa, that thing is pretty good, because it immediately heats up to ridiculous temperatures. Output? Connection. This will probably be the output of pollutant and CO2 and shit, you know, like from the furnace. And in here you have the gas fuel, this for example, that you pipe in. And this thing will then generate electricity. I don't know how much. Oh. But it will heat up the room extremely. Let's look at the gas fuel generator. It doesn't say, of course. Why would it say anything? So now we have seen this thing, and we know that it produces really extreme heat. Do not underestimate that thing. You think the furnace is hot. This thing is hotter. It is. At least that's what I heard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, what? 10. I would need 14. What is required here? Steel. And I will steal some of this steel. Which is all of it. And make 3 more. No, 4 more. Because when you make a landing pad, which is what you need, will absolutely need when you want to do trading, because the trader will go there, they will land there, then you can interact with it. And I'm saying it because the things that I've seen so far are just robots. Wait, I think I'm done. How many do I have here? 3 and 10. Okay, 1 more. The thing that you absolutely need for a landing pad is a landing pad center. That's a special piece, and it needs to be at the center. Or let's just say, I think you can also put it somewhere else but the center, but I think the game will then calculate from there into the outer directions and will measure, oh, this landing pad has only a size of Nemanep by Nemanep, which is then not the truth, right? Landing pad basic. Landing pad runway, that's for traders that need to, they need an actual runway. And I realize, again, I'm talking bullshit, Right mouse button, it's a kit. Here, landing pad center, and otherwise we have some decorative stuff which is not relevant, but... oh, and actually more? Aha. You can have the landing pad data and power. Should we make a landing pad out there? Should we do some trading, maybe? Yes. It shall be 5 by 5, so we need 15 iron frames. We can afford those, I think. We will probably also need steel sheets. Which means that we need steel. $17, thanks. That's enough. Sheets. Yeah, that's 14. I need a fifth one. I forgot. Damn. Now I don't have any steel in here. Landing pad basic. I need the steel back, man. Can I steal this steel? Yep. So let's stop the shopping spree for now. Batteries have held out well, even though these things were on the whole time. Not bad. No. I mean, no. Man, if motherfucker is large. That's not what she said. Yeah, slap it on here. And it will need more. What? Welding torch, 3 I could have looked that up, by the way. But I'm too curious. I wanna put that... I wanna get the electronic parts because I know I have them, you know. Otherwise I wouldn't bother now. Yeah, a faster airlock would be nice if we can actually make that, as you have seen on the moon. In my moon video, I make one. Just walk into the box, and then very, very shortly after, this door opens in front of me automatically and just walk through. Like, vroom. Or that's how fast it is. Probably the screwdriver. Welding torch. Welding torch? What the fuck? What the fuck? Iron sheets. I need iron sheets. My life. I do hate it. Because I left those explicitly inside. Six. If that's not enough, then fuck it. I will do the other thing first. And now I require steel sheets. That took 4 of them. Okay, I think that thing is now operational. Autominer. Mark whatever. And then we have electricity connection here. And that thing. My assumption is that this opening will probably spit out everything that it digs up. I mean, even in sunlight, I think the gases should be safe because the planet is so motherfucking cold. We're still close to the station, so how is this thing normally used? I mean, you use it in the wild, right? Would I then put up a frame on this, then an APC, and in that then a nuclear battery? I mean, the way this thing looks. Let's do exactly that, except for the nuclear battery. So an APC, a battery, frames I have, cables I have, not too many though. Yep. APC, where are you? There they are. So let's see, can I plop down an APC anywhere? I mean, here obviously, and not here. Okay, we do need a frame. Basically, you have to build a small station whenever you want to mine something. That seems completely dumb, man. No, Oh, it can, but I can't place it there. Curious, I am. Where is it? Here. Oh, that was mine.
Temperature low. Temperature critical.
That was the wrong battery.
Temperature low.
It's not on? Oh, right, it's not on. That's why it's not on. Uh-huh. Battery is discharging. How strongly is it discharging? 72%. Should it, like, be drilling now or something? 70%. Man, this thing eats the battery as fuck and doesn't do shit. Could it be that the portable miners are complete dog shit? Let's see. What? Autominer, right, not portable miner. When built, will mine a vertical 2x2 shaft, aka it's going to be 8x8 meters. no, 4 by 4 meters, because a world cube is 2 by 2 by 2 meters, and 2 by 2 by 2 meters means that it is 2 for 8 cubic meters, which means that it is 8,000 liters of water at sea level pressure on Earth. Until it hits bedrock. Autominer can be connected to a chute system and is controllable by a logic network. Note that the Autominer outputs more ore than the conventional mining drill over the same area. See, that's what I said. But it's not working. Why isn't it mining anything? I mean, did I build it in the wrong place or something? How do you use the fucking Autominer? That is a disappointment. But I have an idea. Let's attach a logic switch, with which we can then select what value we want to address, and maybe there's one that says go or whatever. And I want to do something else, which I have forgotten, therefore I will not do it. L. Cable. Have to go to bed very soon. Oh. So that's the logic connection. Is that the logic output connection for the logic? Okay, that's what I need. This is the input for the power. And therefore we can do what is mostly the correct approach. Just connect it all. Sometimes it's not. Okay. What can we connect here? Which device can we connect? Autominer? And that's all we can connect. What values can we connect? Open. Activate. Oh, activate sounds good. There's a button I'd like to have somewhere on there. What else do we have? On. Clear memory. Open. Let's first use on, because then I can show you something I already said at some point, which is that the physical switches are connected to the logic of it. What is happening? See? The actual physical switch was changed. Not just the fact that it is on. Okay, now let's go for the activate button. Activate function. And boy, I hope this does something. Okay, I did not... maybe switch... Huh. There must be some kind of activate button, so maybe there is an activate button and it's just not visible because I buried the whole thing. But now it's mining. It's working. Cool. Okay, it's not complete dog shit, it's just a bit weird. So if I understand correctly, we can stand right here and be very moved by this beautiful game. Primarily downwards, but also a bit sideways. No? Yeah, let's let it run, whatever. How full is the battery? Yeah, okay, let's build a landing pad then. We need a 5x5. Close to the entrance would make sense, because if someone lands, which they do rather instantly, so it's not like you're staying inside waiting for them to event. No, this is rather instant. But still, it makes sense. You know, you want to welcome the guy. I need to take measures. They involve a mining drill, of which I have a charged one. 19 megapascals. I can move any mountain. Don't forget to turn it off, even though the pneumatic mining drill so far doesn't express that it needs to be turned off. So now let's take a landing pad. I will just take the simple landing pad without any decorations, because then I would have to take care of that. See, you don't need to weld those foundations to make that happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we have a nice blueprint, so to speak. And the drill. Well, and at some point I just want to be able to go into the station and plop in the bottle of my mining drill, and then later when I leave again I plop it into the mining drill again, because it will have been recharged automatically, and ideally with low power consumption.
Power low.
I mean, not something that is running constantly with some kind of what's its name, pressure regulator that just keeps going and going, blah blah blah, but instead, apart from the fact that the housing or the IC10 takes 50 watts, I believe, to run, everything else would then be turned off and on only as needed. Oh, and by the way, I did some when this current bottle filler thing that I have, you know, this funny assembly, it employs a filtration device. This one, it has a slot for a chip, and someone told me that I could actually measure the output pressure from there, so I wouldn't have to put in some kind of measurement device or whatever. I can directly just measure what the output pressure is on the output side, and if that's high enough, then just turn the device off and the desired situation has been achieved. That sounds very good. And the mountain was moved. Didn't I have enough iron frames on me? Oh, right. 5 by 5 is 25 and not 15 or whatever. Oh man, I don't have enough landing pads either. What the fuck was I doing once more? Anyway, we have 2 rows now, and so we have found the center, which would then be the landing pad center. Special piece. They all look the same, but only until you have put up the additional stuff that you need, which is this. I think you have to weld them. Yeah. See, and that's where they will land. Nice shine. I like shiny stuff. Too bad society doesn't make such choices. way ever. Do you sometimes have the feeling as if mankind is kind of allergic against happiness? Or is it just an artifact of our disorderly coexistence? But yes, I do have the impression as if somehow magically the voices which should be heard least are heard and obeyed too, I mean the most. Or are more likely to be obeyed. Well, there's my hypothesis that I expressed in my thorough introduction to MIPS programming video, which is pretty good. Where I said that the golden rule is the only way for us to coexist, right? But since you can't really know in detail what's right and wrong in a specific situation because you don't know the other guy, you can basically only guess, and thus then you only risk. Then you can risk to do something wrong there. In the end, the golden rule really doesn't come down to golden rule, but thy will be done. You just want to fulfill the other person's emotion, or at least not violate it, and you expect them to do the same. So that's kind of what the golden rule really is, right? But if that is so, and if mankind gets more and more sophisticated at knowing what the individual person wants, I mean, if the individual person knows better and better what they really want and don't really want, therefore express more strongly, give more strong indication to the other people as to what they should and shouldn't do, if they want to fulfill the golden rule or the thy will be done rule, then this means that our behavior has to adapt more and more to the behavior of the others. Or let's say it will be more and more easy to abuse this this overall concept that we all have to follow. I'm saying that at the end of, or at least at some point of mankind's path through time, we would encounter a situation where we would be ruled by demons, and the only way to not be one of them is to suffer them. It sounds shitty, but I mean, I look at the world and realize, oh, that's what's going on. I don't know how many I need, I didn't count. And I need some landing thingies, where we can make those too. And then later you have to put up a computer with the landing control thingy, with the right board, and then you use a satellite dish to say basically, yo lander, come down here. Landing pad basic. Copper. How many will these make? Too many. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's half of them. Steel sheets, we need more. Three more. Then that needs to be powered. And we need, what is this? Steel, ah shit. Man, I should have started this with the landing earlier. It's too late, I have to go to bed, really. We have to abort this in a few minutes. I'm sorry. I mean, if I could choose freely to do what I want, I can guarantee you there would be a lot of people who disagree with what I'm doing, with my choices, but they would be stupid in doing so. What I would be doing would be agreeable, would be okay, would even be good. But I'm not free to make such choices. Instead I have to go with that stupid collective flow I'm imprisoned in, so... Not a fan, Not a fan. But without the people, it would be nothing. I'm not sure if I would be nothing without them. But that's completely academic. I mean, who gives a fuck? Point is, the world could be so much better a place because many things that people are doing, or actually not doing, even though they should. You know, it's choices. It's laziness, it's evils, depending on how you look at it or what we're exactly talking about in that moment. And it's unnecessary. Why would you not try to make the world paradise? I mean, you have a reason, right? I don't know what the reason might be, but there must be one. Because if you don't have a good reason not to do that, then you're obliged to do it. Do you disagree? Okay, that's the landing pad, but it is useless without someone... well, we need some kind of... oh shit, I forgot. I need one more landing pad thingy. Or actually multiple more possibly, because the thing I would try to build might require multiple of these things. I'm not sure. Let's make one. So that's that, and then we have also this building kind of thing, which is data and power. That's the one that we need. You plop that to the side of the landing pad, connect still, right? And then what's this? Yeah. And how many do you need? I can't tell. But it's telling me what that is blocked. But what will it tell me when it's not blocked? That's the question. Dude! Do I really have to go out there to find out that I have to go in here? Damn it. No, I don't. I can use the Stationpedia. Too lazy. This seems like a good place. See how we want to rotate this. I think it was already nicely rotated. This might be all. Yep. So you run the computer where you then say, hey, trader, dude, now that I contacted you, I click this button, which means that you come down here, right? And he's gonna say, or the game is gonna say, no, because you don't have a powered landing pad. You need to turn that thing on. Not at all times, but in this moment at least, you know? I don't know if the logic needs to be connected. Might be that that's not actually necessary. And this button, I think, is to ask them to fuck the fuck off, you know? In case you can't do that with the menu. I'm not sure, though. So, but we can't really do anything yet. Good thing, though, this is all on the same circuit, so we can just waltz inside and use this the respective board, so you can at least take a little look. And then I will stop for today, because else I'll just keep doing stuff and then be completely tired tomorrow. And tomorrow I actually have a short day. I mean, I will have a long weekend ahead of me. I will have a free Monday. So maybe I'm gonna make a few videos, who knows. Sorter, rocket control logic, communications motherboard. That's the one. Silver, electrum. How many silver do we need? 5 and 2 electrum. 5. Pam pam pam. So now I would have to select the satellite dish, which I can't, for there is none. Okay, satellite dish. What does it take? Satellite dish. We have the large satellite dish. You might think, oh, let's make that one. Once you can, right? Just because luxury. But the thing is, you have to turn them in the right direction. And that thing turns so fucking slowly. Even the medium one is turning slowly. Even the small one turns slowly, but it's bearable. So I have already an idea in mind that I would eventually try at some point, which is that I would just set up lots of small satellite dishes to find out in what direction I want to go, and then I would know the orientation, and then I could steer another one to automatically go there where the strongest one is, or the one that I've chosen to, you know, and so forth. So let's make a small or medium. Let's make a small satellite dish. Huh. That's actually feasible. It is complaining why? Because it cannot even select one. Yeah, the floor is clean. This is reasonable. Also, the game doesn't yet have static electricity. By the way, regarding boards, you know, IC and so forth, there will pretty surely, I mean, I heard that again in recent 2 days, I think, from the developers, be some kind of dependency on... Well, I think they want to have different IC versions, you know, which can... I think have different features or a different amount of source code lines maybe. And I also heard, but not in recent days, but at some point, that there will be some kind of dependency on the environment, so you can't just plop them down in your furnace room or something. They need some protection basically. Okay, before I walk out there, let's see what the small satellite dish needs. It needs the kit. Welding short torch iron sheets 1 and 1 cable coil. Do I have 1 iron sheet? I do. Do I have a frame? I do that too. Yeah, because I think I need one. We could take a look at the miner, by the way. And yeah, let's put it here. No, not directly adjacent to the landing pad, because... Oh, that's good. Oh, I exactly have the right amount. Because you can also put a liquid and a gas connector there and so forth, and I don't want to occupy those spaces. Satellite dish. Dude, oh man, I don't have a cable coil? 1 cable coil required to continue construction. Why the fuck do I not have cable coils? I had so many. Did I actually use them up exactly, or did I toss them stupidly inside once again? Ah, fuck. Probably the latter, but it looks like the former. Boom, boom, boom. And then we have to connect that from over here to over there, which will take about 10. So let's make 15, that should be enough. Prints much faster when it's modded, and prints also considerably faster than the autolathe, which can also print cables. Oh, no screwdriver required. The logic connection is most surely not required. That is if you want to remote control the orientation of that thing. And I realized putting the... I mean, on my Vulcan base, on Vulcan these days, or maybe always, I don't know, you start with a trader kit. You know, exactly this. A 3x3, this is the 5x5. The small satellite dish, I think, or is it the medium one? I'm not sure, I think it's a small one. And the computer and the board and so forth, you have it all, you know? And you can plop that down, and then you can beg for, like, water and stuff. And here you can see we have credits. I think on Vulcan you start with 800 or something maybe. And you can sell them, for example, a mining drill, you know, or something. It depends on trader. So turn that on. And now that this thing is on, we can also turn up the electricity, the power that it uses. That might influence whether we can see some trader with a computer. But it also, of course, eats power. So now that the computer is stupidly inside, it should really be outside for this purpose. Haha, here we go. Now we can select the satellite dish, of which there is only one, and the landing pad center, so I can have multiple landing pads and can select which one I want. And here, starlight suppers. Supper sounds like food, so that guy would probably have canned food and shit. And what I would now do on Vulcan, where I have my computer right next to the satellite dish, I would walk over here and click on the satellite dish, and it would slowly move in that direction, and then I would see the bar would then start to fill anew from 0, but it would fill quicker. And that is one indication telling me how good the connection is. This countdown means in this time means how when the trader will be gone. Let's look at the log. I wish that they change this, that whenever enters contact range is green and leaves contact range is red, something like that, so you can easily distinguish with your eyes, can easily read what's going on. But you can see Starshop has entered contact range, so if I use the satellite dish correctly, or if I have a large enough satellite dish, then I can contact them. And then when the power is strong enough, then I can click here. A box appears and will tell me if it's actually strong enough or how much more I would need. And if it's strong enough, then there's a button in there that's called interrogate, which is a term I heard is like normal for, when it comes to radio communication. It has nothing to do with waterboarding. And then when the interrogation is over, then you can say please land or whatever. And I guess that's also what this button does. And then they will land. There will be a thunderous sound, and then you will see them actually fly from there, and they will land there, and then suddenly the trader will be standing there because they don't actually exit that shuttle, they haven't implemented that yet. You walk up to them, you, I don't know, click or whatever to communicate with them, and then you see here a menu on screen with a buy section, and you can swap over, then it becomes a sell section, and then you can select the amounts, and you will see what that costs, and you can say deal, and then you will have that. But you will probably also need a vending machine. But these days you can also trade directly into your hands or from your hands. So maybe you don't need that. That was fun to buy volatiles, not volatile, to buy oxide on Vulcan, which has a volatiles atmosphere and is very hot during the day, so that if you have a fuel mix, it will auto-ignite. So during the day I bought water, and in my astronaut hands it was immediately catching fire. I was quickly stuffing it into my mining belt, and then I lost like 3 or 4 each time of the 50 stack. But this way I got some oxide. I could have waited until the night, but you also have to see to get the right guys here, you know. Yeah, and that's what trading is, you know, how that works. We haven't seen that in action yet, but I mean, you have understood it now. You can make it happen now, after what I've just explained. Yeah, and if you want to tell them to come down, then there will be a message saying that it's not possible because this thing is not yet on. So you can turn that on then when you need it, and this you should turn off when you don't need it. Yep, that's it. Okay, it's late, I have to go to bed. We will probably see each other again, if you are so patient, because I will probably make some more videos. And maybe then I will have an idea of what the fuck to do, because today I kinda didn't have any. But maybe we'll just go shopping again, because we have only seen like 80% of what this machine has to offer, and we have 3 more of these, so... See ya. See the light?